we are back on sports, man. Let me tell you. It has been a great, because we're going into week 3 now. All right? It has been a great 3 weeks here in Philadelphia, in the city. Let me say it like this. I feel very fortunate to have experienced what I've experienced in these previous 3 weeks coming up to the Super Bowl when it comes to Eagles fans. Now, for those who do not remember the previous time we went to the Super Bowl, this year's Super Bowl when it comes to Eagles fans is completely different than what happened when we went before. The fan base, the generation has changed. It feels like night and day. And the way they celebrate, I'm going to say it's better. This reminds me more of 2008 with the Phillies as opposed to 2004 with the Eagles. Okay? That's what it feels like. Now, I want to start with last week. Okay? Last week, you saw the video. Okay? You saw it. The celebration. Y'all know I put some videos on Twitter as well. I was out there celebrating. Let me say that in the comment section. I want to address the comment section. You, ladies and gentlemen, in the comment section were excellent. I say this due to the fact that fans from, say, if you were a Vikings fan, that it didn't matter. NFC East fans, doesn't matter what fans from anywhere. You were wishing us good luck, us Eagles fans. You know what I mean? And it was great. It almost felt like sitting at a bar and just talking sports with people and everyone being cool. You can talk sports without going out of bounds. You know what I mean? And especially with Vikings fans, when you came in, you wished us good luck. You were disappointed in your team, but you still wished us good luck. Now, with that said, let me say on Twitter, all right, not my mentions, but looking on my timeline of other Eagles fans, you were hardcore arguing with Vikings fans. Why? Why is this? I don't understand why. Look, the game is over. Why are y'all arguing? And then y'all posted all these things about how the Vikings are going to throw beers or they're trying to rig Uber so that they drop Eagles fans off at the wrong locations and stuff like that. That's not going to happen. You should know by now that companies are not going to let any of that happen. Because that reflects on them, not the actual Vikings fans or you know what I mean? Like, no, that's not going to happen. All right, let's just stop that all together. All right. But to be this upset after a loss, and like I said, it's not all Vikings fans. It's not, because like I said, the Vikings fans I encountered, were extremely nice, as opposed to what y'all doing on the internet, arguing with other Vikings fans who were upset. I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. All right, I really don't. But that's got to stop. It has to stop. It's ridiculous. All right, we were playing the Patriots, and it seems like a lot of people are pulling for us, not because we're the Eagles, but because I think people are getting tired of the Patriots. This city, in the previous, these 3 weeks, especially last week, I can't tell you, you can't go down the street without someone blaring their horn and chanting Eagles. All right, people just walk, UPS guy, yeah, you got the right hat on. People just walk down the street, hate the Patriots. I hate them. Like, people are hype. They are extremely hype. They're not even worried about the Patriots. I've not seen one person on the street or talking to them. They're just like, we really should worry about Tom Brady and all this. No, everyone, fuck Tom Brady. Like, everyone is so confident that we can be, everyone's all in. Everyone is all in. And that's what you like to see. The city has been great these previous 3 weeks, and I hope it doesn't stop. I really hope it doesn't stop, because it has helped. And I'm going to show you a lot today about that, all right? Because you have to understand as well, all right, within all this, we're seeing people, of course online, they're idiots online, certain Eagles fans deserve this Super Bowl more than other fans. What? Let's get something straight here, okay? There's not one Eagles fan that deserves a Super Bowl more than others, okay? Not one. This is not about individuals, all right? This is about a city. This is about people who have, if you don't know anyone that's happened to, who have died waiting for this, this opportunity, which is another reason why I say I'm fortunate to experience all this. There are people who have literally died. There's people who have not talked to their families. They don't get along with their families. But this brought them back together. The power of sports it's huge. But it goes to show you, there's people on the street selling all types of Eagles merchandise. You can get an authentic jersey right now for $60 on the street on the corner. Like, this place is wild. It's wild. And listen, partying all weekend. This is the only video I'm doing this week. Partying all weekend. And all week. There's people I know who are in corporate who they're having Super Bowl parties on Friday, which means their work week ends on Thursday. And anyone who knows when your work week ends on Thursday, people are going to go party on Thursday night. So they're partying Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's other people who I know who aren't in corporate who are partying for the rest of the week. The way my schedule is, I'm partying for the rest of the week. I still got to go to work and do some meetings, but it's not going to impact what in my partying. It's not. So as far as I'm concerned, this is something that is, I feel, amazing. And I'm hoping they win. Because I'm telling you now, just like I was down at Broad Street, when you saw that video, I was down there at Broad Street. All right, when we won the AFC championship, I will be down there as soon as the Super Bowl is done. That's what I'm looking forward to. I feel as though if Eagles win, this place is going to be... Listen, it's comparable more to 2008 Phillies as opposed to the last time the Eagles went to the Super Bowl. It is just... It's an amazing feeling. It has been an amazing feeling of happiness in the city. It just has. People are just naturally nicer. They just are. Everyone's walking around. People, listen, if you have an Eagles hat on and someone else has an Eagles hat and you're walking by each other, yeah, what's up? That's it. That's it. That's it. Everyone is together on this. Unified. That's what I like to see. I feel as though this is something that, how can I put this? The way the media is pushing this, bothers me a little bit, all right? It's only Monday, and they're already talking about this. They're talking about how, Ken Foles beat Tom Brady, and people are saying, well, how can a backup beat Tom Brady? But you have to understand, because they're doing all these type of comparisons. You can compare him to Jeff Hostetler when Phil Simms went down. Or you can even compare him to Tom Brady, because for those who don't remember, when Drew Bledsoe got hurt, Tom Brady filled in for him, and Tom Brady went to win the Super Bowl. So that's when the Brady era started. It's an amazing thing to watch play out. But of course, your media is always going to say, well, if Nick Foles wins the Super Bowl, we have a quarterback controversy on our hands. No, we don't. No, we don't. All right? Carson Wentz is our guy. That's simple. All right? Now that this has happened with Nick Foles, people are saying Carson Wentz is a system quarterback. So y'all just going to, let me get it straight. You're going to deny the countless hours, all right, of preparation that, football players do. We're talking in the film room studying, especially with quarterbacks. In the film room studying, staying so late, hours later at night, being the first one in the morning there, watching film, breaking down stuff. You think this is just being part of a system? Is that what you think? You're just going to just tear all that down? That's crazy. Not to mention still being able to execute? Okay. It's absolutely ridiculous that we're seeing people say this type of stuff now. But, hey, that's what they do. But like I said, back to the city. Now that the city is pretty much full on, all right, 110%, of course, now we have businesses who are trying to cash in, of course, with their shirts. Trying really, really hard. And that's the difference between buying a shirt like this, an official shirt or something like that, as opposed to trying to go out of bounds or trying to be different, trying to go against the grain. Like, nah, bruh. Like, look, we all love what's going on here. But listen, it's comparable to the 2008 Phillies as opposed to how the 2008, like the t-shirt game in 2008, the way they did things with the Phillies. Because they had a number of moments that they could print on a shirt. As opposed to just, oh, well, the D is missing because it's in your mouth. And no, it wasn't all that. You know what I mean? It was simply like the moonshot. There was a shirt for the moonshot. When they tried to throw the ball, Shane Victorino's head, there was a t-shirt just for that. They waited for moments, key moments that happened during the Phillies in 2008 to make those shirts that made people say, okay, I want to get that because I remember that moment. I remember where I was at. I remember how much I cheered. That's different as opposed to, well, the D's in your mouth because you're a hater. Like, trying too hard. You know what I mean? There's a difference. There's no connection, when it comes to those shirts. But that's not all. Now we got to talk about the food game. That's right, the food game. Now they're making special Eagles food for you. But that's not all. As you know, Boston market is big here in Philadelphia. Well, since we're in the Super Bowl, all right, and we're playing the Patriots, it's no longer named Boston Market. They've named it Philly Market. Now, when the company Boston Market was asked about, was this okay? They were actually okay with this. They was like, you know what? We see the city and and their spirit for the Eagles to win, even though we're from Boston, it's quite okay. Also, for those who don't know, the mayor has made a bet. That's right. the other man from Boston, that when it comes to the statues between Rocky and Rocky Marciano, all right, depending on who wins the Super Bowl, those statues will have to wear the opposing team's jerseys. But of course, what we saw already, being posted all over the internet, people were upset about this. I feel it's unoriginal because we just saw this with Vikings fans when they came and said, we're going to take over your city and we're going to dress up Rocky. All right, you did that. Now here we go again. Now, of course, we could talk about the curse of Billy Penn. We could talk about that, all right? But I don't think anybody really wants to get into that already, you know what I mean? So we're not going to go there. But the fact is, there's more when it comes to the food game. Not only have you already seen the T-shirt game, not only have you seen, donuts and you say, well, donuts easy to make. I agree. It is. It's easy to make and just color it green. I get it. In Boston market renaming their, Philly market. Now, the Eagles, they have their own brand of cereal. This city is on fire right now. And to be honest, just to let you know, come Sunday night, they may burn it to the ground no matter if the Eagles win or lose. All right, just letting you know that. All right, this is what I'm talking about. This is what you should do. Like I said, I've done this before with flyers as well. You've seen I've been places I've recorded, so you see the crowd reactions. When a team is winning like this, everyone gets on board. I understand that there's times where fans may disagree with each other. And there's also times where we see way too many fans always be negative about the team. Like I said, I'm still at a loss here on how you can sit and say that the Eagles were not going to do any damage in the playoffs. Granted, Carson Wentz was hurt, but you didn't believe in the Eagles, but you were quick to trust the process with the Sixers. That is still, for me, that marks a lot this year. When it comes to Philadelphia fans, that is a big indicator for me. You know what I mean? It says, hey, look, lines are going to be drawn eventually. And it is a problem. You can't do that. All right? I guess I could talk about the Sixers in a minute because I got some things to say about that. All right? But the fact is, this is something that I feel as though everyone should be able to celebrate. You know what I mean? Whether you were a fair weather fan at one point or you're still in denial. We've seen Eagles fans say, I hope the Eagles, we saw it earlier this season, I hope the Eagles lose so I can be right. What kind of Eagles fan is that? What the hell is that? What kind of Philly fan, what is that? Like, no. Just admit you were wrong and move on. Just get back on the team. Apologize and just move on. I said before, I said last video, last time I was on camera with sports, I said that if you doubt this team, that you should apologize and leave the nest. And I believe that. I do. All right? Not because you weren't 100% certain, because people did have their doubts. It's okay to have doubts. But when you go so far, so out of bounds that you want the team to lose, it's time for you to go. That's something that, no, we can't have that. Then when it come back now in the Super Bowl, okay, well, Eagles stuff on, nah, we can't have that. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, those type of people can go. All right? You got to believe in who you got. And like I said, the team has depth. And it's amazing how so many people just discounted that. Which goes to show you that they really didn't know anything about the team. Didn't think that they were going to be able to do anything. All those acquisitions they picked up, you didn't think they were going to be able to push anything. I mean, they caught Carson Wentz and Fletcher Cox last season. Them two talking about, Carson Wentz like, don't even worry about it. We going next year. And Fletcher Cox is like, you right. Cox is like, you right. And look where we at. Confidence. Always staying on the up and up. It's okay to be critical. You're talking to a person who started with this Eagles fan base who was critical. And the Eagles fan base absolutely hated me because I was critical. I wasn't overly positive. All right? And they hated that shit. They hated it. Yeah, if y'all weren't here in the beginning of all that, yeah. You'd be amazed how many people were quick to say, such and such is a boy, blah, blah, blah. You'd be amazed. Then I came along and was like, no, this is wrong, you gotta do better. And the fan base fucking hated me. They still hate me. You know what I mean? But hey, it's fine. You know what I mean? It's cool. It happens. You know what I mean? Opinions. Hey. But now, if you look at it, that trek all those years, how the landscape has kind of changed. Now Eagles fans are being critical. But I think now it's getting to a point where, like I said, they just go too far. I hate this team. You hate the team? What? Did you grow up loving this team? Yeah. Well, how you hate the team? If you hate the front office, it's fine. Howie Roseman has done a great job. And it's such a quick turnaround, too, given what Chip Kelly did to this team. Yeah, so as far as I'm concerned, I just feel as though this is one of those things where we should be able to, dare I say, bow out gracefully if they win. And I say that because I've seen a lot of Eagles fans last week. A lot of you guys on YouTube, a lot of you guys saying on Twitter, that do Eagles videos. And you're talking about how if the Eagles win the Super Bowl, you're going to stop making videos. And because you want to leave on a high note. That's it. And I understand that. I mean, look, I put it like this. A lot of us have been doing this for years. Eventually, you got to move on. I trust me, I understand. You know what I mean? You got lives. Some of you got families you want to take care of it. Stuff like, I get it. I get it. You know what I mean? We all have our stuff to do in real life. And this, as especially any Eagles fan will tell you, it's not that serious. It's not. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a priority to constantly, do this. So, I definitely understand your fandom is there, and maybe this will be the only type of, I don't know, maybe it's the only type of, dare I say, fame that anyone is, really reaching out for. As you know with me, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I come on here, I just tell how it is, and then I am out. You know what I mean? But for some, it means a lot. I would say that if you're planning on leaving after the Super Bowl, good luck and Godspeed to you. You will be put in the same category as, and for those who do not remember, the hater. For those who don't know who the hater was, Phillies fan, back a long time ago before the Phillies won the World Series here on YouTube. He used to make videos with a bag over his head because he was ashamed at the Phillies the way they played. And he said, if the Phillies win the World Series, I will stop making videos. Phillies won the World Series. He walked away. Gracefully. He kept to his word. You know what I mean? So, I definitely understand if you want to leave on a high note. I mean, eventually we're all going to have to, take that long walk into the pasture. Eventually, you know what I mean? And, I mean, if you're going to go out, if we win the Super Bowl, that is the high note. I mean, what are you going to do? Come back on here for another 5 years and complain that the team is garbage after you won the Super Bowl? Is that what you're going to do? You know what I mean? Unless someone declares that we're going to go back-to-back in Super Bowls, then that's a whole different story, you know what I mean? But I definitely understand. You know what I mean? Maybe it's time for a lot of us to walk away. Maybe it's time. Don't know. We'll see. But I do want to move on. And I want to talk about the Grim Force Flop of the Week. That's right. So like I said, this week, partying. Eagles fans, clear your schedules. That's all you got to do. Go party and have fun. Enjoy this moment. Regardless, win or lose, enjoy the moment all the way up to the point that, okay, it's a reality that we're going to win the Super Bowl, or it's a reality that we're going to lose the Super Bowl. You enjoy every second of it. Every second, because you don't know when this opportunity is going to come around again. But, Grim Force Flop of the Week goes to the NBA, goes to Chris Paul. Again, we know that Chris Paul flops a lot, all right? But this is just absolutely ridiculous.
Rockets, a minute 11 left to play. Here.
Go home. Come on. Look, it's no secret that we know that Houston will more than likely play Golden State, in that conference, in their conference, for the finals to get to the championship. There's no secret. Unless you think OKC is really going to make enough noise to beat Houston, there's nothing left. The Spurs are hurt, so, yeah, you can't expect but so much. So, 9 times out of 10, this is going to end up Golden State and Cleveland again. Unless you think in the East that Boston is going to do some damage to Cleveland, which I don't think it is. Because as we know, Cleveland turns it on in the playoffs. As we know, every team that LeBron is on, whether it was Cleveland or Miami, they start strong. Then around December, January, they kind of chill out for a bit. And the media goes crazy. Oh, they're losing. They don't have chemistry. And they're fighting. And they're arguing. And the Cleveland is doomed. And then what happens? When it comes playoff time, Cleveland just takes off like a freaking rocket. That's what they do. All right? And then they just run. And then they're in championship. All right? Or I should say a LeBron team. No matter if they win or lose in championship, they still get there. Now, with that said, let me talk about this real quick. Philly fans, I talked about the Sixers a bit ago. And we need to have this talk. All right? A lot of you fucking idiots, all right? You went on and you voted Joel Embiid to go to the All-Star game, all right? You voted him to the All-Star game. Everyone's happy. Need I remind you that Joel Embiid still cannot play a full season of basketball? Need I remind you that? And you say, but that doesn't matter. He can get... No, it does matter. It does. If you can't play a full season of basketball, why the hell do you deserve a spot on the All-Star team? Huh? I'm just wondering this. You have to be kidding me that this is where you're going with this. The man clearly is still injured. He's not fully healthy. And yet, you want to send him to the All-Star game. Like last year, you tried to send him to the All-Star game, right? He played what? 30-plus games last year? And you want to send him to the All-Star game. This year, you want to still send him to the All-Star game, even though he's admitted himself he cannot go 100%. What's wrong with y'all? Is it the notoriety? Is that what this is? We need to have someone who says they're an all-star on our team so it makes us feel better as fans that we support the process. Is that what this is? Because if that's what this is, then that's garbage. We already know, we've seen it for years, that the NBA voting process is a joke. We've already seen. I mean, a couple years ago, we saw people voting for Iverson and T-Mac and they weren't even in the damn league. So, yeah, and they had to try and change the rules. Look, it's this simple, okay? Let the man get healthy first. No one's not saying he's talented. Talented as all hell. I've said before, I need an angry Joel Embiid out there as opposed to, oh, I'm having fun and I'm flopping all over the place like a fish. I need an angry Joel Embiid because angry Joel gets shit done. All right? Yelling at his teammates, being dominant, that's what I like to see. And Philly has this big love for a big man, and you can't say they don't. All right? Because when we got Bynum, remember when they signed Bynum and they had it over there near damn Liberty Bell? Remember that? And all those fans came out, we got Bynum, we got a dominant center, we're going to go crazy. And what happened with Bynum? Exactly. So then we were looking for the next big man to take us over. That's what it was. All right? Some type of fascination. Then you get mad because Ben Simmons doesn't make it to the damn All-Star game. First off, he's a rookie, number one. Or you can believe in the Charles Barkley theory where you've already skipped your rookie season since you were out all season. That's on you. So you shouldn't get rookie of the year or whatever. All right? It depends if you believe in Charles Barkley or not. But here's the thing. All right? You got a Ben Simmons who can't shoot. Or I should say can't shoot. Doesn't want to shoot. But he can't hit free throws to save his damn life. All right? He can attack the basket. That's fine. That's good and all. But he also has a number of turnovers when it comes to him, putting the ball on the floor. You have to understand that there's more to this than just, well, he's putting up X amount of points. That's all we see, and that's why he should be in the All-Star game. That's not how it works. That's not. Okay? Like I said, the voting process is screwed up as it is. But to get mad that Ben Simmons did not make the All-Star game is ridiculous. We just saw what Fultz looked like not too long ago. All right? Looks bad. Looks really bad. That shooting arm, that shoulder is done. It's done. All right? And then the media wants to start posting videos of him throwing the ball upside, was it backwards, all full court? Oh, he made the shot. Who cares? He can't hit free throw. I don't get it. It's one of those things where, again, they want you to keep pushing this hype, for the moment. You're witnessing the moment. And it's like, dude, stop falling for the hype and look at basketball. Look at what it is. All right? These guys can't go 100% for a full season. There's problems. There's problems. At one point, Joel couldn't even go back-to-back. Is he even cleared yet? But he couldn't even go back-to-back. And y'all want to put him in the All-Star game. I don't get it. Yes, he's entertaining. Yes, he's nice to look at. When it comes to the way he plays basketball. He brings highlights. That's why I say he's nice to look at. He brings highlights. I get it. But that's not the end all be all. Highlights, that shit's for Sports Center. That shit don't mean nothing. That's for me to eat you up and say, okay, go buy a jersey. Come to the game. That's what that is. Stop getting caught up in that shit. Guy will pass the ball around the back. Ooh. You don't see that shit every day. If you're on a basketball game, you don't see that shit every day? Okay. I don't get it, man. I just don't. I don't. But hey, I guess it's not for me to say, right? I mean, all I can do is just give you my opinion and keep it moving. That's what I can do, right? And go out and party. You know what I mean? So, with that said, I want to move on. Like I said, I want to keep it moving. I want to talk about this last issue. Because it seems like after what happened last night, the internet kind of exploded, all right? Now, apparently Ronda Rousey showed up to the Royal Rumble, all right? WWE shows up to the Royal Rumble for wrestling. And, again, all I see online, on Twitter, is a bunch of people making fun of her. Why? She signed a contract. She's making a lot of money wrestling. What's the problem? I don't get it. Y'all didn't give Ken Shamrock this type of shit when he was in WWE, did you? No, you didn't. Like, I don't understand. I just don't get it. Or are you going to say, well, Ken Shamrock was out of his prime when he was in UFC, so he went to WWE? No, he went because of the money. That's why. He went because of the money. Let's be real here, all right? And this is what I need to know, all right? Has anyone looked at Ronda Rousey's contract when it comes to WWE, how much she's getting paid, as opposed to how much she was getting paid in UFC? I'm just wondering. Because I saw the interview with Ronda Rousey not too long ago where she said that there were other business ventures that she could have made more money doing, via acting or whatever, and she turned it down to do something that she felt that she was going to love. So she's a fan of wrestling. As you know, Rowdy Piper. We get it. You know what I mean? But how much was she getting paid? Because I feel this is not a Rousey issue as opposed to a UFC issue. Because not too long ago, this really started, if we think about this, McGregor versus Mayweather. Look how much McGregor got paid for that fight. And then look how much your champions in UFC get paid. Matter of fact, Nate Diaz, just not too long ago, in December, the UFC offered him a title shot. And he decided he wanted to go get his boxing license. Whether it's a change of venue or it's the money is the thing. We always see in UFC when guys win, can I get the fight at night? Or can I get knockout at night? Because they want that bonus. You know what I mean? Money. In hand. I think that there's a problem with the way UFC fighters are paid as opposed to boxing or opposed to wrestling. Let's be real here, because everyone's making fun of her. Oh, well, she had the 2 losses, and she's not coming back, ha, ha, ha. It's interesting that you say, people are saying that because during that interview, she would not address those losses at all. She wouldn't. So, obviously, those losses still hurt her. They do. No one's going to deny that. You know what I mean? I don't know why she thought she was going to be able to throw hands with Holly Holm anyway. I don't know why, or even Amanda. I don't even know why you would try and take them down. That's your thing. You know what I mean? That's your bread and butter. But whatever. You listen to your striking coach. Now, with that said, all right, going into the WWE, I feel this is a good fit for her. I feel as though, depending on how much she's making, you never know. They probably gave her a dump truck full of money. We don't know because they said it's full-time. So it's not like she's just going to come every once in a while and do a pay-per-view or whatever. No, she's full-time. She's on the roster. You know what I mean? That's it. She's wrestling. That's it. You know what I mean? So I don't know how much she's getting paid, of course. Like, that's why I asked, any of you, have you seen the comparison in numbers when it comes to, WWE and UFC and how much they was going to pay her? Because, let's be honest here. Brock Lesnar, he was WWE. And then he went to UFC because he wasn't satisfied with WWE. Went to UFC. Then, as we know, he was really, hurt, sick or something. He almost damn near died. And then he came back to WWE, and they gave him a dump truck full of money for it, and he didn't have to wrestle every night. You know what I mean? So he shows up every once in a while. You know what I mean? And he's still the champion, and he's getting paid a lot of money. So when you look at it from a realistic perspective, as an athlete, because a lot of people keep trying to say, it's a soap opera. Technically, it's a stunt show. And you still need to have some type of athletics in order to pull off said stunts and choreography. You need to. So, I'm not trying to hear that these people aren't athletes at all. I'm not trying to hear that. Okay? I feel as though it's one of those things where you really have to see what, how can I put this? What helps you in the long run? You know what I mean? Granted, we see wrestlers, and I think a lot of people see that in UFC too. Like, UFC fans are like, oh, well, she'll never be hurt. Wrestlers get hurt. We've seen career-ending injuries. We see a person die in a ring not too long ago. So I'm not trying to hear that. The way his neck hit the rope and everything. He died immediately. He was gone. Dead. So I'm not trying to hear that. All right? Wrestling is still dangerous. It's a stunt show via stunt. It's still dangerous. Okay? Getting slammed on that hardwood for 365 days a year, yeah. That's going to cause some injuries. Granted, they're not hitting each other, full tilt. They're not, because they're employees, they're partners, they're co-workers. They're not trying to hurt each other. They're just trying to make it seem like they're hurting each other. But when they get slammed and getting splashed on and shit, yeah, that takes a lot. I just think that Ronda Rousey making this deal And it seems like she's happier with this. But the money that is involved, I think, is the bigger indicator here. Like I said, she could make more doing acting, but she said she would get bored with it. So, okay, it's understandable. Rampage Jackson said the same thing when he was going into acting. He said, Hollywood will make you soft. He said that himself when he did the A-Team. So, I mean, hey, I guess it's one of those things. But if the money is there, I mean, we've seen wrestlers, it transfers into something else even bigger. I mean, look at The Rock right now. Highest paid actor in Hollywood, you know? But for years he wrestled, you know what I mean? Before that, for years he played football. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at the pedigree or the history of these people, before being known and what they did, you have to give them the credit. But of course, at this point, I understand that, you know, the dream is to be champion, but a lot of people just want to feed their families, you know, make a living. And I think that nobody, and I mean nobody, should be you know, laughed at for trying to make a living, you know, going from a professional sport to, you know, sports entertainment. I don't see why that's laughable. I don't see it. Like I said, no one laughed at Shamrock. Nobody. He was billed as the dangerous man in the world at the time. That's how they billed him in wrestling. You know what I mean? And no one was like, nah, Ken Shamrock's a joke. Nope. No one. Most dangerous man alive. No one's talking about that. But with Rousey, it's a whole different story. I don't get it. I just don't. I just don't see it. A lot of these people have legit, you know, wrestling pedigrees, you know, national wrestling pedigrees, you know, Greco-Roman wrestling pedigrees. You know, some people, if those don't know, in the training facility now, when it comes to pro wrestling, they teach them jiu-jitsu. So you can't even say anything now. You know, like in their center, their what do they call it? Their developmental center or whatever. They teach them jiu-jitsu. So yeah, you know, wrestling, whether you like to feel it's fake or not, you know. The money involved is a lot. It's a lot. And now we'll transition on to the last part. Since we're talking about wrestling, notice I didn't talk about the matches and everything. No, I don't care. I don't care. All right. Now that we're transitioning from wrestling, let's talk about the XFL, shall we? The rebirth of the XFL. It will not compete with the NFL. It will piggyback off the NFL because, as you know, in 2020, the XFL is coming back, and Vince has said he's going to take a step back in this. He's going to make it more like legit football, okay, instead of the wrestling element into it. And also understand that it's not going to air until after the Super Bowl. So after the Super Bowl is over, he's hoping to catch that crowd that still has that football hype and wants more football. Because as you know, when football season's over, everyone's like, man, football season's over, man. I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do. This will carry you over until the next season. You know what I mean? That's what it is. So he's not competing with it. He's piggybacking off of it as far as I'm concerned, until he changes the schedule for it. You know what I mean? However, to say that there are going to be no instant replay, fewer timeouts will be shorter because you want to make it a smaller game. You know, a shorter game. I'm sorry, a shorter game. Dude, your wrestling programs are like 3 hours long. What do you mean shorter? But okay, nobody wants to watch football for 3 hours. Your wrestling's for 3 hours. Okay, whatever. Anyways. He's bringing it back to to a local type football, whether it's high school football. You don't have no replay in high school football. The timeouts are shorter in high school football, or you know, a Division III football team. You know what I mean? It depends. You know what I mean? But he's bringing it back down to a realistic standpoint when it comes to football. And for people to complain about this, it almost makes me feel as though you've never grown up in football culture. You know what I mean? Playing in the Pop Warner leagues and stuff. You don't got no replay in Pop Warner leagues. You know what I mean? Timeouts are definitely shorter. Hell, there's times where you won't even have enough people in your roster, so you got to play Iron Man football. That means you're playing both ways. Like I said, it's one of these things where you're going to see, of course, they're going to put some notable names out there. Johnny Manziel's already said that he wants to play, but Vince McMahon has already said, if you have any type of jail record or even a DUI, you cannot play for me. So, Johnny Manziel, gone. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure we will see a number of college players that didn't make it to the NFL go to the XFL. We will see a number of probably older players, aging players, or players who aren't playing in the NFL, who did play in the NFL, go to the XFL. We may even see some people who from the CFL come over to the XFL. People are trying to make a name for themselves so they can get back to the big stage. And I think having another venue to do that is fine, as long as they don't make it crazy. And I think that's the best part about it. Now, the last time the XFL was around, people tend to forget the camera, the way they had that aerial camera that you see in football these days, that started with the XFL. So even though the XFL wasn't around, the technology that the XFL introduced for football and for sports is still there. The professionals use it now. It goes to show you that they did still, a lot of people like to make fun of the XFL, but it did contribute to sports. It did. So it goes to show you that, we'll see what happens. I think this is a crazy idea because given the problems that WWE was having before, fans were saying, you can't afford pyro, but you're going to, get a whole football league back. You know what I mean? I get it. It's priorities, I guess. I don't know. But, as far as I'm concerned, we will see what happens in the future with the XFL. I think, if anything, it's going to compete more with arena football, not the NFL. You know what I mean? So I don't think anyone has to worry about that. I don't even understand why NFL fans would even laugh at the XFL at this point. Let's see what happens first. Since Vince said he's going to stay away from this, and he really wants this to be football. You know what I mean? Extreme, not extreme football, but just football in general. It's just a name. You know what I mean? At this point, and people are just going to hang on to that. They wouldn't know how they played back in the day. But things change. Time changes. People change. So, yeah. Anyways, I think I'm done for today. I will talk to y'all later. I am going to go and celebrate. And I will talk to y'all throughout, the rest of social media. I hope y'all have a good day. I hope y'all have a great weekend. I hope you have a great weekend and are excited for football. I cannot wait myself. Seriously, this city has been great. That's all I really have to say. Like I said, I feel very fortunate that, to experience what I've experienced in these previous, now we're going on week 3 now, so these previous 3 weeks, and I'm hoping that it's extended again, for when we win the Super Bowl, and we get that parade and see how people react. I can't wait. I'll talk to y'all then. Y'all be safe. Until then, I'm out.